Way, there we
Right.
go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Fragments. It's a D&D campaign that we are playing. If you didn't see the first one, go and watch that one with the clips and stuff, and you can find out where we are. We will do a quick recap. So we have Beanie playing.
Killian.
We have Lou playing.
Cereal.
And me playing Charles, and also DMing for today. We were supposed to have another player, but no reply at the moment. So we'll see if he joins on the following week. He's got a very busy life.
I was going to say, he might just
suddenly arrive in the meeting,
yeah.
And then I'll have to write him in, be using my clever dungeon master technique somehow. So just to do a quick recap of where we are. So you have taken the boat, the Red Scoundrel.
Mm-hmm.
You had just defeated the captain. Charles Irwin was in a bad way, but you both did medicine checks on him and you smashed it. So you've brought him back from the brink of death. You laid your hand on him and brought him back from from dying. But now you're laying out on the deck, feeling pretty bad. It was night time, if you remember. It was night time when you decided to overthrow the boat. So it is dusk. You've had a long, hard-fought battle. You were all quite wounded. What I would say is that Charles probably needs a good rest, a good long rest, before we move forwards. So shall we assume that we've all had a long rest and we're all healed back up to 100% from where we were damaged, and all our spells are recharged and everything like that, okay? Mm-hmm. So you're on the boat. Now, there is a predicament with... Oh, God, the dog's sleeping. He's got his foot in a bag of tinsel. He's kicking it, and it's rustling.
And he's got the biggest grin on his face. So
Okay. So you wake in the morning, and you've got the bodies of Vicario and of Gegni. They're on the Gegni's in the lower deck, and the captain's just inside the door of his sort of about here where you left him. You guys have slept out on the deck in the night in the cool breeze to recover. And if you remember, Killian had also turned 2 wild beasts to his side, probably through his druidic nature, being a person of the forest and things like that, and of nature. He managed to have those 2 on his side. You did have the guys bring up the rations from the bottom of the boat, Killian. Why were you getting them to bring them up?
So that we won't have to keep going up and down to get them and waste energy.
Okay, so they've brought the rations up to the deck so you can count them out.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is you have for 8 people for 10 days. So they were planning on pretty much starving the guys in the belly of the ship, the slaves. Mm-hmm. So there was enough food for Vicario, Gegni, and the 6 other slaves that you were with. Now, the problem is you now have a crew of 6 slaves, 3 adventurers yourselves, a Luxodon, the human Harsel, a dwarf called Grench Strongfist, a female human, a gnome human, and 1 sprite as well. So you've got a crew of 14 to feed over that time with just the rations that you have. But there are ways around it.
Okay.
And you've got your 2 wolves, your dire wolf and your wolf.
Well, they can just eat the people that we killed.
Is that what you want to do? You want to put the bodies there?
It's raw meat, really, yeah.
The sun is rising, so these bodies are going to be ripe soon. So we better do something with the bodies. Plus, having dead bodies on deck.
Well, let the wolves eat what they like, and then we'll toss them over.
How many days are you going to be at sea? Is what you're going to think. Is what you got to think of.
Well, what can we do? Is there a way we can? Is there somewhere we can store the meat from them then?
Can we salt the meat as well? That'll make it last a bit longer. Is there any salt on board?
You could check down in the base in the lower hold. There's lots of crates down there.
Yeah, so
Okay, so who's looking for the salt? You going, Sariel, to look for the salt?
I'll go and have a look for the salt. Yeah.
Go and have an investigation check then for me and see what you find.
I don't know where that is. I can't find it now. Oh, there it
Second
is.
page.
Five.
You don't find any salt.
By the way, I'm playing on my new laptop, so it's a lot quicker.
Oh,
I'm not
lovely.
waiting.
I thought that was fast.
So, can I go and look for salt and a place to store the meat? If there's like a colder place,
Okay.
can I
So
do
you go
that?
down to the bottom deck.
Yeah.
As you walk down the deck, you're going below the sea level, so you notice it's noticeably cooler as you're on the lower decks.
So, can I go look for the salt?
Yes, you can. Make an investigation check. Roll 1d20 and add your investigation modifier.
Will you go away, you fat man?
She's talking to the dog. There isn't just another little man down there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not another man.
It was Toby, of course.
Just for those who are watching, dogs here being pains in the butt.
17.
17. You find salt. It turns out that that Sariel wasn't very good looking for salt. So you find the salt and you notice that the deck is cooler. So you think that this would be the place, if you're going to store the bodies for the dogs to eat and salt them, this would be the place to do it.
Okay, so can we crack on and do that first then, like you said, before the meat goes dodgy?
Yeah. You've got people that could do it for you because they're kind of, you remember you've scared 2 of them, Killian. They're scared to death.
Oh yeah, shall we use them?
Yeah,
Get
this is what we said.
So you're
get
going
them
to task
cut-
2
cut-
slaves to cut up their former masters
Yeah,
and salt the meat.
yeah, screw it, why not?
Okay, that's pretty vile.
Hey.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. $15.
So it was 18 and 20.
Oh yeah, so they're perfect. Yeah, so the 20 would get you. Yeah, they're fine. They're still petrified of you. With your power over them, they're convinced, and they take the cutlass, the scimitars that were the captains. You give them, and they take the knives from Gegni because he had a dagger, and they go down to the lower deck and start their messy work of cutting up the bodies and salting them ready for eating. So you've fed your dogs. You've still got 14 crew to feed on 8 with rations for 8 people for 10 days. So they would last you if you weren't at sea for so many days.
How do we know we're going to be at sea for another 10 days?
That's what you estimate the rations will last you. You don't know
Okay.
how long you're going to be at sea. You need to find out where you are.
Wait, we got our equipment back, didn't we?
You've got all of your stuff back, yeah.
Not a compass.
We've got 10 days worth of rations.
Yourselves, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got those for yourselves. So you could survive 10 days, each of you. So that would be the last 10 days. So you still got, -3, you've got 11 crew with 8 days of rations.
That's fun.
No, sorry, 11 crew with only rations for 8 people for 10 days.
But yeah, so
But at the moment, you don't know how far you're sailing. So
And we decided last week we were going to go west, didn't we?
yeah, you're heading westerly, but you don't know what land is in front of you yet.
Can we? Would it be worth our while to see if we can, if we've got like, can we go to the top of that crow's nest?
Yeah.
And have we got anything like a telescope to see the crow's nest?
Oh,
With your general knowledge, you would probably assume that any device like that, which is quite an expensive sort of trinket, might
Yeah.
be in the captain's quarters.
I was about to say, do you want me to
So
go
I
and
go-
investigate the
Yeah,
captain's
so I go
quarters
and
and you go
investigate.
up the crow's nest, and then I can like chuck it to you?
No, because if your agility fails here, you're going to just throw it and it's going to get smashed.
True.
You can just pass things in this game. It's fine to walk next to somebody. You don't
No,
have.
but if she's up there, how can I throw it to her?
You could just climb the rigging and be up there with her and pass her a telescope.
Okay, so while she's heading up there,
Uh-huh.
do you want me to go and investigate, or do you want to go investigate?
I don't see why I just don't go and have a look in the captain's quarter myself.
Okay.
Oh,
And
So you're going to go and look in the captain's quarters.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and look in the captain's quarters, but anything that'll be of use to us, particularly a telescope.
A telescope or a map? would be good.
Charles says, "No, well, I better come along. I'll come with you. You don't mind if I tag along, do you at all? Maybe I could be of some help." He's talking to you, Killian.
I do it like.
Okay, so you're
I'm
going.
not going. I'm,
So
that
Killian's
stumped me a bit. I was like, wait, what?
Killian-
No, I'm not investigating.
okay. You're not
I'm
going in.
investigating.
She's investigating. Elfie's investigating. I'm not.
Oh, I'm going with.
No, that's why you drew her, because I'm the one going down to the captain's
Oh, I thought
quarter.
we were all going in there.
No.
Sorry. Okay, so I'm going with you then, Sariel. Do you mind if I come with you, Elfly?
Yes, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so you walk into the captain's quarters, which you've only briefly seen before.
Mhm.
Okay, so you only saw it while you were battling the Captain Ricario on the doorway. You're standing
Yeah.
about where he was finally slain by Killian
Mhm.
after being electrocuted and set on fire, and no, iced and electrocuted
Yeah.
by the combination of Charles and Killian's magic. So you notice as you stand in the room, there is to your right, there is a table with vials and pipettes and Bunsen burners and things like that. It looks like the captain has been experimenting with chemicals whilst aboard the ship, maybe trying to make something. To the next round the room, there is a table with what appears to be map making equipment and a compass upon it in this corner here. Then there's a large desk with a plush chair. Upon the desk, there is writing parchment and a quill and ink well and a globe that shows the planet of Earl with its green side and the dark side. And the dark side is just black and grey with just the centre red lake or the moor, as they call it. And then round to the far to your far left as you're in the room, you see a changing screen, one of those partitions that is for getting undressed and dressed in decency round it. And then to the far left of the room, there is a treasure chest
Ooh,
that appears unlocked.
it's unlocked. Then you have to find a key. Well, I would like to investigate the treasure chest, please.
Okay, so you walk towards it. Can you make a perception check for me?
Hang on a sec.
And
14.
14, and I'm going to do one as well. $14. So yeah, there's something not quite right. Aboard a ship filled with slaves
Mm-hmm.
and no lock on the treasure chest. And so we both take a few steps across the room and stop for a minute because we're not quite sure. There's a funny feeling.
So we think it might be booby trapped.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. It must be Bean's turn.
We can carry on because she's just nipped to the loo.
Okay. So I'm wondering what to do. Could be booby trap. Could we do an intelligence check? See whether we could think of something. What could possibly be the next course of action?
You could maybe a wisdom check, I'd say. Wisdom.
Okay.
Because intelligence is applied thinking. Wisdom is kind of being knowledgeable of something.
Okay. I'm trying to find the wisdom check.
It's on your second page.
Oh, there. Wisdom. Oh, I got a big score on that one anyway. That's good. 17.
17?
Mm-hmm.
And so with your 17, you think to yourself, hold on a second, this could be something that I've heard of in dungeons where the thing isn't really what it appears to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's something else entirely.
Right.
And you've heard tales of teeth and tongues.
I know. Bit like bit like Colour of Magic.
The luggage.
Yeah, the luggage out of Colour of Magic. So it could what should we do?
I say, what is it? What seems to be what do you think, Elf?
Elf is thinking whether we treat it like a beast.
Like a beast.
And try and use the animal handling to see if we can tame it.
I say these creatures are, if it is what you suspect, these creatures are born to attack anything that it's not trained to attack.
Right.
I think that whoever has it would have said it to get anything else that wasn't it himself, like the captain, I mean.
So we leave it the hell alone.
Yeah, that is certainly one course of action, yes. I believe we could just circumnavigate that thing, whatever it may be in the corner, and attempt not to rile it.
Okay. So we leave it sleeping. Okay.
Okay. Killian, come on.
Yeah, 1 second.
Gillian, we're well ahead now. Did you see the message pop up from Dan?
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, what's happening?
So we've just gone into the room.
Yeah. I heard something about the luggage.
Well, Sariel suspects that the chest isn't a chest.
Ah.
It's like the luggage from Colour of Magic that sort of bites you. So we'll leave.
Everybody should have one as a pet, personally.
Well, I mentioned about maybe trying to tame it, but Charles said they weren't tameable.
Only by the master, normally. In my it must perceive you to be its master, and you would have been trained to that master.
Bean, what are you drinking? That looks amazing.
It's really naughty. It's Jack Daniel's honey with caramel syrup, raspberry Pepsi Max, and then whipped cream on top with marshmallows. It's really naughty. But it's delicious. All the sweet things that I should not have, but it's amazing.
Okay.
But you haven't anyway. Right. So it's your turn. Whatever you're doing up on deck while we're down here, then.
Yeah. What are you pottering about? What are you up to?
Right. So, shall I go down and check that the guys are actually doing what we've asked them to do? Because we've literally sent 2 guys downstairs that are terrified of me with knives.
They are supplicants to you. They are under your control through your intimidation. They fear you too much to rebel because they know that you've got the other 4 on your side, the other 4 slaves, the dwarf, the 2 humans, the gnome, and you haven't really met the other member of the party, the sprite.
There's a sprite. Where did the sprite come?
The sprite was in the bottle in the beginning room.
Ah, right, okay.
It's probably still swinging there because none of you freed it. But...
Oh, right then.
I forgot about it. Sorry.
I forgot about the sprite. I didn't know. I completely forgot there was a sprite there. That might be a good spot for you to do then while you're up there. Is go and free the sprite.
Yeah, should I go down and check on the guys and freeze a sprite?
Okay. So you walk down to the lower deck. Okay. Back into the room. You're down and you can see the bottle hanging there. You can see the sprite still within there, looking like this against the glass because everyone else has gone and left, and it's still inside there, and it sees you, and because of your demeanour, your form, and you can see the scales, she's kind of taken aback, and she steps towards the back of the glass bottle.
You scared her.
I'll just walk over. Is it like, because it's just a glass bottle, I'm guessing there's not a door or anything on it?
No, it's just literally a glass bottle with a cork in the top, and then there's a metal fastening around the neck of the bottle that allows it to be hung, and there's holes in the top of the cork with like a piece of straw coming out so that there's air that can circulate within there. Okay,
so if I pull the cork out, is there any way the sprite can fit through the neck of the bottle?
That's how you believe the sprite was forced
Okay, so
in
I'll
there.
just pull the cork out and just walk away?
Yeah. So the sprite pops out. It's a female sprite. Pops out and just starts thanking you, basically, speaking to you in common. It knows common, and it just starts chatting to you and thanking you for freeing it from the glass bottle, the heat, and being at sea. It's not its natural environment at all. So, like, a sprite is a forest being of the Feywild, between the realms of the fairy and the forest, and isn't used to being in something so man-made and so far from land, and is feeling quite unwell. In fact, the bottle, as you pull the cap out, smells disgustingly because you think this poor little sprite has been quite unwell within there. And
I tell it there's no need to thank me and just walk away.
It follows you.
Great. So I've got 2 dogs and a sprite.
Yeah.
But why don't you do a nature check?
A nature check?
And investigate what?
And recall lore about the actual sprite's background. Or you could just talk to it.
Do you care, Killian?
No, not really.
You don't give a shit.
I don't.
You're different, aren't you?
Like, me, I would care.
You're like proper...
Killian, I'm just the complete opposite. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a monkeys. Yeah.
You've literally got a My Chemical Romance t-shirt on.
Well,
You got a Slipknot hoodie on. It's close enough. Slipknot hoodie. You got your like little bit of gel down hair at the front with a blue tip.
I know. I don't even know what's going on with
All
my
right,
hair
Killian.
today either. But yeah.
So where are you going? You going back up to the upper deck?
Yeah.
Okay. So back to us in the room. What are we doing, Sariel? Where are you going? I'm letting you lead because I'm DM, so I'm kind of following your lead.
Okay. I am going to go and investigate the maps and the other stuff that was on the table that you mentioned.
Okay, fine. So there's 3 tables in the room. There's the table with the chemicals, the table with the map, the table with the pen and quill and the globe, which is the desk, and then there's the changing bit and the chest. I'll just move the camera over. Maybe that's easier to see a bit here.
Oh yeah, that's better. Let's have a look at the globe and the pen and quill first, please.
Okay, so you're going to go and look at that. Okay, so you wander over to the desk, and it's got 2 drawers in the desk. Do you want to have a look in those?
Yes.
Okay, so you open the desk and you find inside a brass telescope.
Yay!
So you can add that to your equipment if you want to add it now, or just make a note of it and add it at the end. Do the housekeeping bit at the end.
Okay.
Just make a note of it, paper or something, if you want to.
I'm just gonna write it down.
Because I know in our luck we'll lose it in about 5 minutes, so don't add it now because you'll end up taking it out.
You go to the captain's desk and you find a small bag of gold coins. Another 5 gold coins in there as well. Seems to be like his personal spending money. And you also find a hold on.
Please make it something hilarious.
You find a palm-sized iron cage, but the door doesn't shut properly on it, and it looks as if the lock was broken from the inside. Also, inside the desk there. Upon the desk,
it's a little lock cage.
Yeah.
It's been broken on the inside, and it would fit in my hand.
Yeah, it would fit in your hand.
Okay.
Could that maybe be where the sprite was before then?
I think it might have been the case.
And he transferred it then to the glass bottle because the glass bottle didn't have a door on it.
Yeah, you think the sprite woke up. You broke out. You could ask the sprite when you meet the sprite, but at the moment you have no knowledge that the sprite's been released. Yeah,
sorry, that was just the first thought.
You've gone meta.
Sorry.
So you're on the desk. You find a journal that the captain has been keeping, and the journal talks about the day-to-day life, and particularly about the frustrations with a rival ship called the Wild Horse. And this boat seems to be shipping prisoners far faster than Ricario's boat. Even though the boat's of a similar build and it's of a similar crew, the captain of that ship is called Jarrett Earns, and he's in the journal he describes him as a smug, self-satisfied poser. That's what Ricario has written. Ricario sailed the waters for many years, as you can tell, and he's been making some success of himself and some real money since the increase of slaves have been coming out of Heptar Island until this upstart, Jarrett, had arrived on the scene. He'd become his renown, the captain, that is, Captain Ricario, had become quite well known, and he'd been sailing the route from Minthal, which is the island, the trading port on the south end of the continent of Gregden, to the Heptar Island, which is where the colony, the prisoners are reformed and then sold on as slaves, which you know that Charles was employed upon that island. That was where he was working at some point. But this job that he's got with this set of prisoners seems different in the latest entry. And it was going to be a bigger run than the normal 2-day crossing that takes. He was due to head nearly 10 days. You think, hence the rations. Up the Curses Straits, and a large duty was on the head of these slaves, where he was to drop them at Ranachan, which is the capital of the far easterly continent, the desert continent.
Okay.
The receipt and the job to land at Ranachan, there's also paperwork attached to that, which has your information on it, as that wasn't where this batch of prisoners was to stay. They were to be shipped on from Ranachan to, the last note says, care of the monastery of Kureen, spelled K with a small K, capital R-E-E-N, which is a small island among the Fragments. It's one of the smallest islands among the Fragments, apart from the Dark Watch Towers. That's what you find on his desk. Yeah, so you know about where you came from, what he'd been doing, where you were bound for in the long run, your immediate stop.
Can I just recap that? So
yeah.
We were bound for the east.
You were bound for the eastern continent, which is kind of along a set of straits.
The straits lead to continent. That was a 10-day trip.
Yeah.
He normally does 2-day trips. Where did we come from again?
You came from Heptar Island. That's where the boat left from, heading north. Well, you don't know which direction that was, but you should maybe look at the map table. Maybe you could find that out and kind of plot where you are.
I think that's probably our next thing then, is to but it's been his journey first.
Go for it. Go for it, Bean.
I don't know. I don't want to intrude on you guys in that room.
Well, you don't know what's going on.
I know, but you guys went in there and I decided to go downstairs instead, and I don't want to intrude.
You're not shy, are you, exactly, Killian?
No, I know.
Female dragon woman.
Male.
Like.
No, you're the male dragon woman.
Male, sorry. You're male. I do apologise.
I'm female in the other game. It gets very confusing for me.
What do you want to do?
I don't know, because like if I go in, what's been investigated? The chest?
We walked towards the chest and then noticed something strange about it because it wasn't locked.
Okay.
Then we decided we thought it might be of one of these beasts of teeth. And we've left it still since then.
But you didn't actually look inside it?
We didn't touch it at all because we feared...
We didn't want to wake it up.
Fuck it, I'll go in and open the chest.
You can walk to the door from where you were here. So you walk in the door and you see the chest and you go towards it. And I say, I don't think that's a very good idea. We believe it might be sleeping, or at least dormant. We believe it might be, let's make it, see if I can name it. What am I doing? I can do it on here. I don't need to do it there. Because I can't remember my pluses.
Right. They're on your page. That's why we've got this. It's all on there.
I have no idea what it's called.
What did you get?
5.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those, snappy bites. We believe it is.
Snappy bitey.
Normally, normally you'd find these in the deepest of places, booby traps. Normally sink to the denizen or master of the dungeon.
But if you haven't opened it, you don't know what it is. There could be something in there that could be quite a vital clue. as to, well, anything. It could either help us in some way,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be of use later on.
We used our
If
wisdom.
it is a chest.
If there is anything in there.
If
If
you believe it's a
not-
chest, if it's not a chest, and it is what we believe, we could be in deep trouble.
If it is a snappy bitey, as you called it, which is just ridiculous. Is that kind of like, is that the
I love
best
how my
you could
dice
come up with?
rolls are like perfectly representing Charles.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he's just an absolute bumbling idiot.
Like you said, he's a fat pigeon.
Yeah, he's just a fat pigeon. If you
It's
imagine,
like Toby in pigeon
Yeah,
form.
yeah.
That is Charles. And he's that stupid as well.
so you're in the room now, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm in the room. I'm over at the chest.
No, you've not gone over to it yet.
You said I walked over to the
You
chest.
walked in. You're walking towards it, and I've gone. I
Okay.
wouldn't.
No.
I've interrupted you to make you second guess it.
Okay, so what do you think?
I've warned you about it. Why don't you?
I'm not listening to you because you're a bumbling idiot. You called it a snappy
Well, no,
bitey.
it was actually Sario who investigated it first.
But you
I
called
was
it a
saying
snappy bitey.
And my wisdom, I did a wisdom check and scored quite high.
It's 17.
And I thought, and I was pretty sure it's one of these snappy bitey animals. I just wasn't sure what it was called.
Just the fact that you named it a snappy bitey.
Why don't you do a check? See if you can identify.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
investigate it.
So shall I do an investigation check?
You could do investigation or nature to try and identify the creature.
Nature should be a good one.
Well, they're both the same on mine, so
What are you going to do?
a
Investigate
silence.
would just make it like
Okay, so
you'd
shall
be
I do,
identify if it was or not.
shall I do a nature check then?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5.
You have no idea what it is. You're as bumbling as Charles when it comes to
At
identity.
least I'm braver than you. I at least approached it.
We went about that far and then stopped.
I was like, no.
So, me being the wisest person in the room, I'm saying it's really not a good idea to go anywhere near it. And there's plenty of other things to investigate. Why don't you have a look at some of the other things that there are and to investigate that aren't a chest? You know, we've already looked at the table. There's some chemicals in the corner. Do you want to go and have a look at those?
I was going to say, shall I rummage through the pockets on his clothes? Because I've just realised there's a screen here.
Yeah.
One sec, let me remove my pen from under the page. There's a screen here with clothes behind it.
You want to go and have a look over there?
If they're the clothes that he's had on or could possibly have on, there might be things in his pocket. What do you think? Shall I head over there?
I think that's a
'Cause
good
if
idea.
If you guys are like covering this end of the room, I'll go over that end of the room.
Okay,
Yeah.
just stay away from the chest, yeah?
Yeah, I'll stay away from the chest. If the wise elf is telling me to stay away from the chest, I'll
So
stay away
you
from the chest.
circumlocute round this, you circumnavigate and go behind there. Okay, now
Yeah.
back to you, Sariel.
Okay.
You looked at the desk, you found your telescope, you found your small cage, you found your thing, and all of a sudden, past you buzzes.
Oh yeah, sorry, I've got the sprite with me.
The sprite buzzes past and
I
it's
forgot
just kind
about
of
that.
flapping around the room. It settles on top of the globe, and then it doesn't realise that the globe starts moving, and it starts doing like a very comical sort of running backwards thing on the globe till it gets its balance, and then it's just exercising and it's kind of skipping over the every time it spins to the point where the molten lake on the dark side is. It's jumping over that and just making the thing go.
Sorry guys, it followed me. I had no choice.
In a really annoying way. What would you like to do, Sariel?
Can I do a nature check on the sprite, please?
Yeah, go for it.
14.
You recognise it for what it is. You know that it is a sprite, and you know that it looks very out of place here. It should be amongst the in forests and protecting glades and the hidden ancient places that are far from the tempest and far from the sea, deep inland, and just far away from this kind of wet domain. It doesn't enjoy the wet. It enjoys it enjoys a moist forest, but not a wet sea.
Yeah.
You know them to be good-hearted and kind-spirited unless they are trifled with.
Okay, I just want to say hello to the sprite, ask its name, and try and find out a bit more about the sprite, please.
Sorry.
The Trix stops and looks at you. What have you actually asked it? Sorry.
I asked it its name.
Trix.
And where it's from.
Trix. Trix. Trix.
Okay.
Like Trixie dog.
Is that the sprite's name or where the sprite's from?
That's the sprite's name.
Okay. And where's Hello, Trix. Where are you from?
The Gargamel Forest.
Singapore.
Because Gargamel.
Gargamel from the Smurfs.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, the kid inside me then was like.
From the Gargamel Forest.
Yeah. Sorry, that just got me. I love how he's like, what's the giggle from?
I want to sort of befriend the sprite and try and get it on my side. How do I do that?
What precise? The sprite seems friendly enough to the crew because it's been the new pirated rebellious crew as you freed it. It's kind of assuming that you're on the same side as Killian, so it seems jovial around you and seems to be friendly about your person. You wouldn't have to do anything else really.
It's like I wasn't aggressive to anybody in this room, so the sprite's like, these must be cool.
These guys are friends.
Yeah. It's like, well, if he's not being horrible to them, they
Spiky
must be fine.
Dragon Man is nice. I would be nice. Trix says. Trix believes that you are all nice people. You must be nice. Dragon Man is nice.
Right,
That's now Trixie's voice.
Dragon Man, it's your turn while I think what to do next.
I thought it was your turn.
Shall we have a look at this map here? Let's kind of work out where we are. So you look upon the map, and this is what you see.
Yay! Okay, that's a bit too small. I can't read any of it. Can you
It's
make
okay.
it?
I will point out the pieces to you.
I
So
was going to say, it's right in front of me and I can't read it either, so don't worry.
it didn't print as well as I wanted it to because it's so big, basically.
Yeah.
So this is Heptar Island, the place where you have come from. You work that out. And this is Ranachan. So at the moment you are on this course about a day out, or a day and a half out by now, heading north to Ranachan, where you were to be.
We're heading west. We were heading west.
Well, this is where you started turning west at the end of the last quest, about a day out. So you're heading towards the large central continent, which is called Gregdon.
Yeah.
You believe from looking at the map that you can't really land directly with your boat here along this stretch, as it's quite mountain. It's quite spiky, low rocks and things that are stuck out from the land. However, there is a small landing boat that is a part of this ship, so you can unload into that smaller boat and maybe paddle in the shallower waters to land somewhere in the shadow of this great mountain here, which is called Taunj.
And hopefully we'll be able to do that relatively soon, like within the next day?
Well, you're not far out from that land. You estimate that you are. Let me see. I've written it all down here. You reckon you are 8 days from. So where's Drosk?
Drosk.
It's just the point at the top.
Hold on, let me find it. It's my own map, and I've forgotten where it is.
That's because I haven't got my glasses on. There's no point me trying to read it.
No, sorry, 8 days from Bessic, which is this one up here. 10 days from Ranashan, from where you last were. Well, it's 10 days travel in total, so you're probably 9 days up to here.
Yeah.
There is a place called.
Sorry, I don't find this boring. I'm just.
There's a place called Midgren, which is you think is probably the closest town that you know of, big enough town that you can get to, which has it's a rich mineral. It's a town that feeds Minthal. Yeah.
Okay, so we can go there.
That's about a day away, yeah?
That is about 3 days away.
3 days away,
So
okay. And that's where we're heading. We're heading in that direction at the moment anyway, aren't we?
Yeah, you want to change your direction to be sort of south west rather than west. You're heading west from about this point here at the moment.
Yeah, so we're just heading there, whereas we want to go southwest a bit.
Southwest, okay.
Instead of here, we want to be
And
here.
you've got the option to sort of skirt the coast, obviously, or you've got the option to be deep at sea and then turn in.
Yeah, so we either go, I can't put it, we either go
So
up
we
and
go
over.
all the way over and then down that way, or we kind of curve round. Those are our options. So we either curve round or go straight across and then down the coastline, which I haven't seen this map yet, so I don't know. Or is she reading it out loud?
This is what you're imparting this knowledge to each other. So
Okay.
say you've come out just to look at the map and you're saying, I've worked out where we are.
Because he said that the... Oh, sorry, 1 second.
I'm going to make a perception check quickly. Whatever my plus is. 8 plus, what's my perception? 12.
Okay.
So he realizes that, Charles realizes, I think we may be wise to not be so bold in our travels if we delineate our route too close to certainly to Heptar, where there are constant ships toing and froing trading slaves. We may be accosted on the way.
Okay, but we don't want to go too close to the shoreline because he said it's quite jagged and quite rocky. And if we do that, then the boat could hit something.
Well, we're taking the little boat, aren't we? We're not taking the big boat. We're taking the big boat.
From where
you want to row the little boat from here to here?
No, we'll get the bigger boat a bit closer and then take the little boat out.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was just like, wait, what?
So you're going to go down and in, or in and down is basically your options.
Yeah, so do you want to go in to the coastline on the bigger boat and then down on the little boat? Or do you want to go round on the bigger boat to here?
It's about a day and a half travel in a large boat from Midgren to Minthal. So
That's
there to there.
second option. One, because we don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves if there's a lot of people. I mean, we're not going up that main route anyway, so we're going to be going into a little route rather than a main route, so that's good. But I think we need to go on a more direct route rather than skirting around the coast, because more people will see us if we skirt around the coast.
Yeah, and it's more dangerous if we skirt around the coast because of the jagged rocks and things like that.
Yeah.
And like you said, we don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves.
So we're both going southwest for a day and a half.
Yeah, because there's like, what did you say, 14 of us?
There's 14 in the Sprite.
Yeah,
The
14
two
of
dogs.
us, a Sprite and 2 dogs in a little rowboat.
You won't all fit in the rowboat.
Just, you know.
Elephant. Don't forget the elephant, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's included in the 14.
yeah. That could be. That's quite a little rowboat.
Your,
There.
your Luxodon.
You're nuts on. There's a crow flying in the air.
I just imagine his ears like flapping in the wind on the prow of the boat, like that. The trunk pointed forwards.
No, his trunk could be like that up in the air.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I'm looking around like a periscope.
Oh dear. Why do we just turn to children when we play this game? What is it? The three of us are just like.
Okay, so
So anyway, we've made a decision that we're going to go southwest.
you're
So
going to
we
go
need-
southwest, sort of go through the middle of the strait, and then turn in at Minthal.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, at Midgren. Sorry.
So we're going
That's
back.
That's yeah,
Yeah,
that's straight.
Yeah, that first dot. Yeah, at the beginning of the
Yeah.
little dots. Yeah.
That one.
Okay,
And then
cool.
down.
So you set that sail using the compass and everything. Can someone make an intelligence check? One of you two.
I will, because I've got quite a decent score on that one.
What's yours?
15?
Okay.
Sure.
Do you want me to make one as well? Number
You
two?
could give her advantage by assisting.
Okay.
Oh, you smash it.
20.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah, mine's got 7, so you do it.
you're on course. You have kind of plotted your route correctly. You're not gonna. You don't think at this point veer off course through any sort of calculation on your part from the
Okay.
from your compass and map reading skills. Okay, so I will
Sorry.
send over a more digital copy of this at some point. If I can blow it up anymore, I don't know. I'll try to. So you're sailing south, and you're still in that room. You've looked at the map. You looked at the thing. You were going to look at the clothes, Killian.
Yes, I was going to rummage through the clothes because if I know men, which I do because I am one, they leave shit in their pockets.
I think
talking from experience here, they leave shit in their pockets.
so. You go over and you find beautiful sort of finery. Well, I say beautiful finery. It's a slaver ship. So you find the finery that a slaver ship owner or runner would have. So a kind of selection of tattered velvet jackets with epaulets on one side and then sort of tears on the other side.
It's like odd buttons where they've
odd
lost them
buttons,
along the
and
way.
the ones that are on there though are polished to a fine sheen. They're beautiful. They're absolutely fantastic, and gleaming.
Nice
So
catch.
they are. Sorry, I just caught a mosquito in my hand, like proper, like. Yeah. So yeah, you go through the pockets. You notice that the fit would be quite not almost to your fit actually, Killian.
Yep.
It's kind of your. He was similar to your build, and you reach inside the pockets of one of the jackets, and you find a pocket watch.
Okay.
In there. The screen is the glass is slightly split, and only one of the hands goes. The other one is stuck doing this, and every sort of fifth tick, it stops and then goes again. So it looks like it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop.
Okay.
And the other one's going around normally. So that's the larger hands going around normally.
Okay. I don't even know if I've spelled properly right, but it's only me that reads this. So that's
Okay.
fine.
And in another pocket you reach into, you find a small note, and it's like on a small scroll of paper, and it's wrapped up with a seal, and it looks like it's got a on the silk. There's a sigil on it.
Okay, so can I try and figure out what the seal is?
Yeah, investigate it.
Okay. Oh gosh. We will see how this goes. 10.
You don't recognise the seal for whom it is, but you think it could be like a magician's seal or something like that. You think it could be something to do with the magician's seal?
Okay, so can I just pocket it and see if anybody else recognises it?
You can see that there's text on the inside. You can open it. There's.
But this is the thing. Being a
Druid.
I had to check then whether I was a druid or not. I was like, wait a minute.
You can make an Arcana check to see if it's magical.
Can I?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Can I do that? Because I don't want to try and open that and some weird voodoo bullshit happen.
Mm-hmm. You think the captain's been carrying it on him for a reason, definitely. So, it could be a spell. It could be
that only a certain person can open it.
You're thinking it could be trapped. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, go make an Arcana check.
10.
10. You can't sense any magic from it at all.
Well, there's clearly something.
I can do an Arcana check from it for you if you like.
Yeah, so can I hand it to...
You come up from behind the screen. Are you holding one?
I can never say Elf's name.
Sariel.
Just look at Ariel, you know, the Little Mermaid, and put a "s" at the beginning of it.
Sariel.
Ariel.
Okay, so can I hand it to Sariel and see if she can pick up anything from it?
Yeah, are you holding the jacket still, or have you come out from behind?
Are you putting that on?
Wait, can I finish checking the other jackets and then on my next turn?
You've checked most of the other pockets.
I don't get any weird stuff.
Wait, that's coming. So you take it over to Sariel and you say, can you check this? I'm not sure what it is. You can either investigate or you can magically investigate with Arcana. It's up to you, Sariel.
I'll do Arcana, please.
Okay.
Hi. 17.
Oh, yeah. So you know it's definitely not magical. You think it's just a regular scroll of paper that's just sealed up with a magician's seal.
I'll open it.
It might be from the magician to him. Like he might have bought something from the magician.
So I know it's not magical, so I'll open it.
So you open it, and inside it's just a piece of paper, and it's got a signature at the bottom, like a kind of address, like a receipt, basically. It looks like, with an instruction above it, and the instruction says, "When thus dressed, the pet the chest."
Oh, have I still got that jacket in my hand?
No, it's back behind the thing.
But I'm still over there.
You've walked over to Sariel, but you can go back.
Okay, so can I go back over and put that jacket on?
Yeah.
If she's read that out loud, it kind of clicks in my head what it means. So I could go and put that jacket on, and then I can pet the chest.
Did you read it aloud?
Yeah, I read it.
Cool.
Okay.
So could I go put that jacket on then?
Yeah.
Or how many jackets are there?
There are 3 captain's jackets.
But which pocket did it came from that pocket though, didn't it?
Yeah, but it may not mean it's specifically for that jacket. Do you know what I mean? It could be...
It says, when thus dressed.
Yeah, so when you're dressed in that garment. Yeah, so... Because I was just thinking, if there's 3 jackets, there's 3 of us in the room, we could each put a jacket on. But then there's a risk of 2 of us getting bitten or attacked in some way.
But it's our pet, so we can whoever is okay with it can just tell the pet to not bite the other 2.
Yeah. So do you want to do that, or shall I put the jacket on that the note came from and risk it?
I would get all three of us to put a jacket on.
Yeah.
And then and then we try.
Okay. So I'll put the jacket on that the note came from. The other two will put the other two jackets on. Yeah.
Okay, so
Does that make sense?
we walk over. So you got to explain this to everyone that's going
Yeah.
on.
So
what do you think's happening? You say,
I think that note means that if I put this jacket on and you put the other two jackets on, so one each, we'll be able to actually open the chest or go near the chest without it attacking us. It may only work for one of us that is wearing a jacket, but it's worth a shot because we don't know what that chest has got inside or what its properties are or anything like that. So
we need to approach the chest together, like in a line. So
yeah,
if we link arms and walk towards the chest together, then whoever, like, the chest hopefully will not like attack us because it will see that we're all like friends.
okay,
but if it does, it'll be clear who the chest is going for. So the one person, if it is like one person that the chest isn't going for, they can then stop.
We can then command it to stop.
Yeah.
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 okay.
So we're gonna do that.
So we all put on the jackets. Charles, the one is massive on you, Sariel, because of your slight frame. On Charles, it's rather encumbered because he's got his because he's got his wings obviously to encompass, and this wasn't designed for Arakora.
It just has like a little peephole in the cloak.
It's probably best if the monster comes out. So and you all walk towards the chest. You all approach it in like, are you like in a line like this?
We're like in a line straight on from the chest.
You've basically cosplay line dancing up to the chest.
We're like here.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how we are.
When you get within 2 feet of the chest, it shifts.
Shoot.
And it opens. The edges of it seem no longer solid. The box moves and breathes flesh-like. And it cracks itself open, and you see a maw of teeth and a large purple tongue dripping with saliva comes out. It opens its maw, and the tongue touches first Killian, then Sariel, then Charles. And then it does it again. Like it's counting, but its primitive mind can't count, or it can't comprehend how three of them in the room, 3 in the room. You can almost see this creature's mind ticking. And then it sort of settles back down. It's no longer still as it was before as a chest, but it sits breathing in the corner, moving, like pulsing slightly, and every so often opening its mouth, like it's had its mouth closed for too long, kind of thing. It's uncomfortable being that still for that long.
Okay. Can you read the note again?
When dressed thus, when thus dressed, a pet the chest.
Okay. What if we also were? I can't look at her. It's just that one eye, like peering at. It's really creepy. Right. So what if, like,
Not better.
yeah. Thank you. I couldn't look at you without laughing. Sorry. So we're all stood like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if we decided to stand like this? Because then it's like one at a time, so we're not all three. Because that confused it. Because it could realise that there was three of us and not just one of us. But what if we stood like this? Would that make a difference?
I don't think we intimidate it. I think it's quite happy that we are as we are, and it's just seen as three, but
like,
not a threat to it.
So it's a beast and not a chest.
Yeah.
But are we able to touch it? Because we're currently only 2 feet in front of it.
No, it licked you. It touched you.
But are we allowed to touch? Are we able to touch it?
You can have a go.
I don't like the way that you said that with the giggle in your voice.
Go, see if it bites your hand off.
Like, well, have you seen the idiots I live with? I'm willing to give it a go.
We could stay all linked together, and then.
Are you going to touch it?
Yeah, why not?
So Killian, who has been up until this point absolutely badass and mean, reaches out with his 3 talons ever so gingerly towards this pulsating, breathing mass of chest beast, and just lays his hand upon it, and the thing sort of nudges its lid into his hand.
Okay, so it's okay with me touching it?
Yeah,
because it's kind of like those idiots do. Like when I fuss them, they're like, "Hey, love me more," and nudge my hand. So is that what you're saying?
What did the note say?
Pet.
Yeah, pet.
So it's
you
my
are
pet,
pet,
or I can pet it. It meant as in I can pet the chest.
Or it is your pet. You can pet your pet. That's fine.
I can pet my pet. Oh, don't tell me I've already got a bleeding sprite thing and 2 wolves. Have I now got a chest as well?
Charles makes a guess and says, I do believe that while we are dressed as Captain Ricario in these garments, that it won't attack us, and it thinks we are its owners. I think that note from the wizard must be kind of a receipt for the captain to know how to control it, and how he can keep it in this room without it eating him in his sleep.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, sorry, I've been distracted outside.
You what?
I've been distracted. There's a noise outside.
Oh, it's fine. Popeye was snoring, so I get it. Can I make a suggestion of, I've touched it.
Mm-hmm.
You've said as long as we're all dressed like the captain, but what if that's not the case? What if you two still need to touch it to kind of verify that that's the case? Because it could just be because I've got the cloak on, I've got the coat on that the note came from. What if it's only that coat? We still don't know, but it's okay with me touching it while I've got that coat on.
Yeah. Look, why don't you look at the coats?
You said I've looked at all 3 of them.
You've looked in all the pockets. And
there might be something special about all 3 of the coats, like something the same as all 3 of the coats.
They're all the captain's coat.
Yeah, but not just that. You mentioned the buttons. The buttons are all really, really polished. What if the buttons are all the same on every single coat? Can we investigate the coats? What do you think? Because he just said
you could just look at the buttons. You wouldn't have to do anything foreign. You're wearing them.
I know, because you said look at the coats.
Yeah.
So that's where my brain's now going.
So you look at the Killian looks at the coats and notices that all the buttons are the 4 top buttons that are most polished on all the jackets are exactly the same buttons on each jacket in the same position, and they're all carved with a rune, the same rune that was on the bottom of on the outside of the scroll.
Ah. And then you said they're all in exactly the same position.
Well, there's 4 buttons at the top of the jacket. Like it's a 3.
It's a double-breasted jacket. 4
It's
buttons
a
on
central
the front.
panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on central panel, there's 4 buttons at the top on each of the jackets that we are wearing that have this rune on it.
Damn it! I don't have a sewing kit. What is wrong with this person?
So it's a dragon. They don't carry sewing
I
kits.
know. I wish everybody did.
What's Charlie got? What's Charlie's thing? Has he got a? I can't remember what Charles has got.
Other side there. That's your equipment. Because I was just thinking, could we take the buttons off and put them on our clothes, and then we don't even have to be wearing the captain's clothes. We could be wearing our clothes.
You could buy a kit
and have the buttons on, but we won't be able to touch the chest until we've got the buttons on our clothes.
Yeah, there's no. They're not encumbering you from wearing anything. You're just dressed in dead man's clothes.
I was gonna say that freaks me out, but I wear charity shop clothes all the time.
You've just fed the captain to
I know.
the wolves, and you're worried about wearing his clothes.
I know. Oh.
Well, on the grand scheme of things, I think wearing his jacket is going to be the less gross.
The least sacrilegious thing that you've done today so far this morning.
All right, guys, I get it. All right.
Keep the jacket on. I think we need to move on to some other stuff because
sorry.
Okay, so you've tamed a chest. The chest has settled back down. It kind of did raise itself a little bit. It seems that's where it's comfortable or been told to stay. There is still the desk across the way with the chemicals upon it.
May I investigate the chemicals, please?
You can indeed. You walk over and it appears to be the captain's hobby. The captain appears to have been an amateur alchemist, mixing chemicals and concoctions together to make things. On the desk currently, you find 5 ingredients. You find algae. You find blackthorn. I suggest you make a note of these.
I haven't got a pad. Hang on.
Algae, blackthorn, chalm, which is CHALM.
Still got anything to write on at the moment.
It's all right. I'm doing it. Don't worry.
Dulce, DULCE.
Oh, I know how to spell dulce.
Anachinea.
What?
Can you please say those again?
Yeah. You find an algae.
Algae. Yeah.
Blackthorn.
Blackthorn. Yeah.
Chalm, which is CHALM.
Yeah.
Dulce, as in the seaweed dulce.
How do you spell that?
DULCE.
Yeah.
And Echinea, which I believe is ECHENEA.
ENEA.
Echinea.
What's that?
It's a chemical. It's something for potions.
Potion.
And you find a note on the table, and it says for healing. Now the instructions are a bit vague. So you think he's been experimenting possibly himself, or he might have got this from some dodgy back alley alchemist in one of the ports that he's been visiting. So the process is quite complex, obviously, to get a potion of healing made, or this potion of minor healing, this sort of health remedy that he's invented. So the instructions are: blackthorn must not mix directly with algae or charmfoot, or charm, as it's known for short.
With algae or charm. Yeah.
Charmfoot must be always cooked the longest.
Yeah.
Dulse is the emulsifier.
What does
And must,
emulsify mean?
yeah, dulse is the emulsifier. Must be added towards the end
What's the emulsify mean?
to coagulate, to gel.
Like gelatin.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. To kind of, emulsify normally means to bond two things together, I think, actually.
God.
And opposite the alphabet, arrow and echinacea on potions with more than 4 ingredients.
Opposite the alphabet.
The opposite way than the alphabet in order.
Echinacea, dulse, charm, blackthorn, algae. Because it's A, B, C, D, E.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Sorry, I got that straight away.
that's A, B, C, D, E, but look at the instructions.
Opposite. So E, D, C, B, A.
Yeah.
But remember the other instructions.
The other
Blackthorn
instructions
cannot
are
mix with
blackthorn
A
must not be
or
with.
C.
So B can't mix directly with A or C,
So
and D needs to be put in towards the end.
Towards the end.
right, so B plus E. And what was the other instructions? Sorry, I got to the first one and
I'll
just
read it again.
stopped writing.
Blackthorn must not mix directly with algae or charmsfoot.
Yeah.
So no B with A and C.
Charmfoot must always be cooked the longest.
So that's got to go first.
There you go. Dulse is the emulsifier, must be added towards the end.
So D's got to go either fourth or fifth, but probably fourth.
An opposite alphabet order with algae and echinacea on potions with more than 4 ingredients.
Okay, so it's from reading that, charm, echinacea, blackthorn, dulse, algae.
Hang on.
That's what I've got.
B. Right, I've got charm, algae, echinacea, blackthorn, dulse.
Ah,
There's enough ingredients to have a go twice. So
Okay.
if you no, there's 4 times. Sorry, so
Okay.
you both got 2 chances. I'm not playing this because I wrote the puzzle.
because I'm only saying that because it says blackthorn cannot mix with algae or charm. Is that how it said?
Charmsfoot.
Charmsfoot. So blackthorn. So B can't mix with A or C. So something has to go between.
So that's E.
Yeah. So
So I've got C, A, E, B, D.
yeah, and I've got C, E, B, D, A. Because it says the opposite of the alphabet.
Yeah, E, A.
So E goes near the beginning, A goes at the end, rather than A at the beginning and
Yeah, but
E at the
then,
end.
E and A
Then,
would be the opposite alphabet, yeah.
yeah, A can't go next to B, so it's going to have to swap at the end. So C, E, A, D, B. That work?
And which one are you going to try and
Think
mix?
it's
Are you going
E.
for that one, Lou?
C, E, A, D, B. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, let's go with Lou's first.
You mix the concoction by adding first in the charmsfoot,
Yeah.
then the echinacea,
Yeah.
then the algae,
Yeah.
then the dulse the emulsifier,
Yeah.
and the blackthorn.
Yeah.
The potion swirls in the glass and you hold it over the Bunsen
Mhm.
and you receive 1 potion of healing, minor healing. But you've got 4 chances to do that now, so
Wait,
So
so
I'm
we can do it again?
you can make, now you know the method, you can make 4 potions of minor healing, or this kind of, it's not really a potion of healing, it's more a sort of minor remedy, and that gives you you hold them on you, you can use them as an action during battle or any point to heal yourself with 1d4 of
Okay.
health when you drink it.
Shall we do that 3 more times then? Because we've got
Yeah.
enough to do it 4
Let's do
times.
that then. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
So you
let's
make
do that.
you make 4 potions. How do you divide them up?
We each take 1 each.
Yeah.
With the 4th one.
Are you giving some to Charlie, are you?
Or we can take 2 each and not give any to Charles because he wasn't exactly very much help.
He was busy DMing, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he was busy DMing. I was going to say, well, shall we take 1 each and then have 1 spare for if Dan's character joins in, and then we've then got 1 each? Shall we do it that way rather than
That seems fair. Yeah.
taking
Okay,
2
so who's
each?
going to hold the second one?
I'll hold on to it, but
I think you've got most right to it because you mixed the first potion.
Yeah.
Even
Sarah
though
all got it right. So
you had 1 letter wrong.
yeah.
And I was going to roll for random results if you set fire to the ship and things like that. So
Thank you for saving us.
You did really well. So like some were going to be non-effects, some were going to be fireballs and all kinds of stuff. So you did really well by working out that puzzle.
Right.
Yeah, well done. But it was Bean's clue because you nearly mixed it wrong when you said opposite alphabet because you had those 2 letters swapped.
I had the wrong way around. I had to switch
Sorry,
face.
we're going out again. Let's go back into it. So you are now. Bean needs a wee, so I'm going to stop for a break for a minute. All right?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, we're going to pause the recording.
Stop recording.
So you've made your potions. You've explored the captain's office. You've figured out that you now have the chest is a tamish creature while you wear the jackets with the 4 buttons on it.
Could you quickly pass my notebook? Sorry, just in case we have to do any more notes. I've run out of space.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you are, after your battle, you hadn't really had time to collect yourselves and just check through your belongings. So you're going through all your stuff, checking you've got all your weapons, making sure everything is okay. And then I would like you to... we're going to check for your trinkets. So these are things that you just have in your pocket as your character. They're not things you found. These are things that were in your possessions. So, Lou, I would like you to roll just a d20. Just your regular dice. And it's the little dice symbol in the bottom left corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You click that and it's one of those is a d20 at the top.
Oh, I didn't know there was different dice. Okay.
Yeah, and you can, if you click it twice, it'll allow you to roll 2 of them, or you can roll multiples, or just tell me the result of the first one and then do another one.
I've got 18 for the first one.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm rolling again. And I've got 4 for the second one.
Okay. The 18, so you, in your possessions, among your possessions, which is very peculiar for an elf, but maybe it's for the sheer comedic value of your sort of known enemies, you have a wooden carving in your pocket of an orc doing a handstand.
Oh, no.
Okay, an orc doing a handstand.
A small wooden statue.
While I'm talking about what I've got in my possession,
Yeah.
How many gold coins was with the telescope? I didn't write that down.
There was 5, like a personal stash.
5 gold coins. Okay, because there wasn't anything gold, was there? It was just telescope and 5 gold coins.
There's 5 gold coins, and that was it really. And the pouch, like a little pouch, like a money bag that it came in.
I've just realised we entered this room trying to find a telescope and we've done everything else.
No, Lou found the telescope straight away.
I know, but then we've gone round and hunted everything else. That's why we're like, screw it, while we're in here.
Well, it's your ship effectively now. You've killed the captain. And the other thing you find in your pocket is a letter addressed to you from from royalty. There's a royal seal on the envelope. You know this seal to be from the king or from the royal seal is that of Frohast, which is the most southern continent.
Southern continent. Can I just have a quick look at that map again a minute?
Yeah, you can. Which is of snow and ice and stuff down here.
All right. So I've got the King of the South's.
You've got
seal.
a letter. You've got a letter with that that seal upon it, and the letter inside is from the king of Frohast. But he has been long dead. But the letter only came into your possession very recently.
Right. And what does the letter say?
Ah, that's for you to read another day and me to write another day. I haven't read that yet.
He didn't think this far ahead.
That's the thing with rolling random dice. You don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, so I'll just put the letter to one side and I'll
Here we
look
go.
into that.
No, here we go. I'm gonna do it on the spot. Here we go. So proper DMing here. So the letter is a note of thanks and well wishing. Thanking you for your services. And notifying you that your payment can be picked up whenever you're ready from Southgate, which is the southerly bridge area on the bottom of Gregdon. You can see that on the map that you've picked up from the captain's office.
Put the map back in the picture for a second.
So before there's an ice bridge that runs between the two continents. Southgate is the gate to the south, hence Southgate.
So it's on the Southgate on the bridge between the middle and the.
Well, there's a town there. There's a town marked on the map there of Southgate.
Between middle and south.
You know of Southgate because you travelled to do your work with him in Frohast. So you would have gone through Southgate, travelled via the ice bridges to Mordenthal, which is the other side of the Great, and that's where the king resides, in Mordenthal.
So between those two, so I know that's that south south land and the southern tip of that.
You're familiar with that area, as that's where you did the work with him.
Yeah. Okay.
Or the work for him or for his people. And then you are gonna roll on table 4. So twice, please, on a D20.
6
Okay.
and a 19.
So you have an eyeball carved from stone that when you hold it in your palm, not always, but occasionally moves, like it's searching for something.
That's creepy.
And the 19, you have what appears to be some grit in your pocket. But when you scoop it out, but when you scoop it out, the grit is all kind of attached to each other, almost like picking up iron filings when they're magnetized.
Mm.
But when you put them into the palm of your hand, it forms up the grit and dirt into a small humanoid figure. And what it is, it's a tiny earth elemental. Very young, very naive, that sits in your hand, in your pocket. But you do know he is terribly, terribly afraid of beetles.
Oh. Oh.
Right.
You're the Dr. Doolittle of dragons. Do you realise this now?
This is just getting
I know,
ridiculous.
you've got
Every
pets.
creature, like every creature, just I'm
It's
going to
your-
be friends with you.
It's your druidic nature, you see. You're drawing the animals and creatures to you. So you've got a tiny earth elemental, a wolf, a dire wolf, and a sprite that are all hanging out with you, and possibly a pet chest.
Bloody brilliant.
That's kind of shared ownership, though, because we all kind of like the chest's ours,
We
isn't it?
all
Like,
part own the club.
so I've got a roll on table 12.
I hope that's Chris and Tara's gate. I'm not gonna-
And where's my d20? So I get, 15. A scabbard for a long sword. I'm going to write this down on mine.
Do you want a bit of paper to write
I'll
it
put
on?
it on my equipment here and I'll add it digitally later on.
Oi, Batman, get out.
Don't sit on my feet. You're heavy. Oh,
Scabbard.
How to add things to my list because I couldn't work out how to do it.
Yeah, okay, we'll go through that at the end. Should we do a housekeeping bit at the end?
yeah.
Yeah.
I've had to get my notebook out because I ran out of room on my paper.
So I've got a scabbard for a long sword with a 5-inch section of steel blade inside.
Yeah.
So it's sort of chopped off a bit. It's like
Yeah, it looks snapped and rusted, possibly. And the other one is a cock dice.
Oh.
7
A tiny sketch portrait
of a goblin.
of a goblin. You know, like, I know as a parent we have random shit in our pockets, but this is just ridiculous.
Well, I found this thing outside of D&D Beyond, and it's 12 D20 tables, 12 tables of 20 I think it's 100 or it's 20 items. No, these are D10 items. Actually, we should have rolled the 2 D10s, but we can do it out of the first 20 because there's so many of things, just random. You can see the list; it's massive. Okay, so you're back on deck. You spent most of the morning sort of. The crew have been salting the beef and making sure the rigging, changing the sail. Harsel has found himself his favoured position. Your buddy from down underneath. He is with the wheel, grin upon his face. Once again, a free man. His tanned skin that was pale and sallow. He is absolutely in his element. He is steering the boat with great pride and joy. And as you walk out of the captain's quarters, he is like beaming at you. Just this man is so happy to finally feel free of this restraint that he's had upon him. Possibly the first time that he's felt truly free in his whole life. You've brought that joy to that man. And your little sprite friend flies up and sits on the very end of the prow the prow of the boat and is like hanging over the edge, watching the waves crash underneath and the spray coming up. And everybody's having a pretty damn fine time. You know that the rations are sufficient enough to last you, but they're all dried rations and they're a bit boring. The guys, when they were finding the salt, when you went down and found the salt, you did also find down amongst the rigging and stuff lines and hooks.
So we can go fishing.
Yeah.
Do I go fishing?
But the whole point of us going into that room was to find the telescope.
Yeah, Lou's got a telescope.
But we then found the map.
Yeah.
So do we still need to go? We haven't told my friend what direction we're meant to be going in. We haven't checked to see
I'm assuming that
whereabouts we
you
are.
went out and you've told Parcel.
We've
So
told-
that's why he's
okay.
so happy.
That's fine then.
He
I'm
knows a
just like,
direction.
wait.
He's got direction. He knows where he's going. You've navigated the boat in the right way, and you're heading towards
Right.
your destination. But you do have a telescope, which you might need for.
Okay.
What would you need to do
So-
with the telescope?
To make look out for rocks.
Yeah, we need to look out for rocks
Okay.
and other ships in
Mhm.
the sea, because if they see us and try and, I don't know how they'd communicate, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We don't know if they know the boat and know who's on it.
Is
They
there
might
any
be enemies.
be quite a good lookout to go up there, or do we necessarily need one of us to go up there?
Remember what kind of races you have with you. Who do you have with you? Can you remember?
Can you recap, please?
We have a gnome.
Yep.
We have a dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
We have Elephant Man. Can't remember his name.
He actually didn't get named.
Oh, okay. Well, we have him. We have a human.
Yep.
We have the sprite. We have the other.
You have all the others are humans. You have six people that were slaves.
Okay. And then we have Dragonborn, Elf, Birdman.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the one that's going to have the best eyesight?
Well, what's your passive wisdom perception score?
Hang on, my computer's gone to sleep.
It's normally right down the bottom of your first page.
What,
just wanted-
wisdom or perception?
Well, it's not
Perception is
your it's not with your
25.
pluses. It's your passive. Turn over. So, oh no, sorry, no, you are right. You're on the right side. So it's normally down the bottom here. So passive perception. So
15.
15. What you?
11.
14. So Elfie, you're the best to look out probably. That's
Yeah.
just, and you'd have advantage because you've got a telescope as well, and you also have keen hearing and keen eyesight, I believe, as an elven trait. I think that's sort of part of your deal.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go up the what do they call it? Crow's nest.
Up to the mast, up the crow's nest. Yeah, you're going to scale the rigging. Okay. What are we doing? What are you doing?
Oh, well, because you said we found lines and hooks.
You're going to do fishing.
I think we do fishing just because it's like the supplies we've got.
You're finding that even
A
at the
bit dry.
crow's nest, with the fine head of sail that you've got up, the fine wind that is up today, that's taking you southerly, that to look steadily, even with your dexterous elf abilities, that while you're traveling, it's quite difficult to look around.
Right.
And certainly fishing would be difficult. So you might want to slow for a bit for the rest of the day, maybe get some more supplies by fishing, and you can salt the fish.
Shall we anchor down? That way we can fish and you can see whereabouts we are.
You can just drop sail.
Drop sail.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Slow down as opposed to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you drop sail, you're going to lose all the wind. You're just going to have the momentum of where the sea's taking you.
Yeah. Shall we do that?
As long as the sea's taking us in the right direction.
Yeah, that's my concern as well.
That's your job to look that out to see where the current's going to take you.
All right. So can I do that first before we drop sail?
No, because you're traveling at speed. Once you drop sail, you could tell where the current would be
Okay.
driving
So
you. Harsel has an idea. Like he has been saying that there's a current trying to pull you, sort of in an arc towards those rocks that you were looking at avoiding up near Townsh, under the shadow of the mountain of Townsh, the ones where you could only land with the small boat. But you're way away from those now.
So even if we drop sail, if we get so close to them, we can then anchor down and then get on the little boat, can't we?
Yeah.
Or we can sail back up and carry on going.
Yeah. If you spot them in time.
I'm not a boat person, can you tell?
I think we drop sail for and we see we're quite a way away from those rocks, so I think we drop sail for a little while. You try doing some fishing because while it's not going crazy at the moment, and then I will look out across the waters and try and get a bearings a bit more.
Okay. Things just smashed your ankle. So can you? We've got to roll for a dex check.
Oh God.
Just a regular dex.
Dex.
Yeah, dex or well, not for you though. Sorry. So the fishers, me and Charles. Yeah. Oh yes, I was a fisher in my day. Yeah, back in my youth, like often with a rod in hand, wind in my feathers.
Right.
What can I do? So I
You're
think
saying
it'd be
dexterity check.
well, maybe even sleight of hand because it's quite fine movement, isn't it, to do like a fishing?
What about performance?
That would be when you kiss the fish and actually believe it.
Fair enough.
So I'm rolling.
I see his point.
Charles casts the rod and gets 2 fish. Whoa! You cast your rod, and get a whole. You get about 15 fish on your fishing. Charles says they're just not biting today. It seems. Yes, so we've got 17 reasonable fish. That'll do us all nicely. Lovely.
So 17 fish.
Yeah, 17 fish on board.
So we're not going to go hungry.
Definitely not. So that's all right. But how much weight can this ship take? Well, saying that, we've lost 2 bodies, so
Well, they're still aboard at the moment. The wolves are.
Not
Munching away.
They're still aboard, are they?
No, well, they haven't pooped them out yet.
No,
Imagine
but we've
it's
got
only
rid
been-
of the skull and things like that, haven't we?
Did you?
Yeah.
You just told them to hack them up into
And
chops.
dispose of the.
I thought you would have
shitty
just.
bits.
Well, you didn't describe how to hack them. So what they've actually done is they've just kind of hacked them into, straight chunks.
Straight to eat the elderly.
They've done them into they've done them into chunks like forearm, upper arm, half a chest, that kind of thing.
Ribs.
Yeah, ribs. Yeah, so they can feed them to
Love
dogs
a
in
good old
sections.
rib.
The dogs enjoy the ribs as well. The direwolves, but so they're happy. They're back downstairs, gnawing away on the stuff. Are you keeping them in the cage so they don't eat all the stuff, or what are you doing with your pets?
Oh, I've trusted them to be out of the cage, but they are not to be eating all of the meat all at once. And I've kind of said that to them,
So you're rationing the meat for them.
You can't talk to animals, but have you talked to animals with them?
Oh, it's gone up behind you, Pete. Sorry, it's just about to go under that cabinet.
Have you got to speak with animals?
No, annoyingly.
No.
Okay, so yeah, they're gonna have.
You're
to
just doing it as a verbal command, like you would a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and you're hoping for the best.
Not that these 2 idiots listen to me, so I doubt those 2
No,
really.
okay, so
But if they eat it all at once, then we can just go fishing again, because it's only the meat that is stored down below.
Mm-hmm. Where have you moved all the... Yeah.
We're still dealing with it on the top deck. We
Okay.
haven't put that down below yet, so it's only the meat.
Mm-hmm.
The human.
What about the other rations?
It's going to go off if we leave it at the top because it's in the sunshine, and below deck's cooler and things need to be sorted.
But we haven't dealt with it yet. Like, we haven't salted it or anything like that yet. It's my thinking.
Mm-hmm. You'd be best
Shall
to
I
salt
put them
it
in
on
the
deck
cage?
and let it dry out. That's how you would salt meat.
Yeah.
That's what Charles suggests. You let it dry into sort of jerky strips and salt it on the deck, let it dry, and then you can store it wherever you like once it's dehydrated.
So shall we do it that way then?
What, with the salt? With the fish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the human meat, it sounds disgusting saying that. But yeah, the human meat that the wolves are eating are down below. Our supplies are up top, so that there is no chance.
Yeah.
So there is no chance the dogs can get to our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of allowed free range of that bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to put them back in a cage, because that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't trust them with our food as well.
Okay.
We're not at that level yet.
Okay. So you're proceeding in your direction. You've caught your fish. Do you raise sail again and carry on with your journey? Now you've got some fish that's probably going to last you with 17 fish, 14 crew complement. That's a good meal for, a fish is a good meal for a person for a day. And your sail was 2 to 3 days. You've got plenty of stuff on board.
Yeah, but we need to see what Serial found.
What she sees?
Yeah.
Yeah, you confirm that there is a drift of the boat towards the... because you're now heading southerly.
Mm-hmm.
So the boat would be pulling to the right towards the coast of Gregdon and those pointed rocks that are at the kind of jagged area that that rough bit of coastline along the edge of Townge.
Yeah.
And just remind me, you're heading to Midgen, not Minthal. Is that right? The beginning of the route.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got another day or so's travel probably to get there, I think. That's what you're estimating with your journey so far. So the sun comes down, starts lowering on the horizon. You, as an elf, don't sleep, Sariel. You just have a 4-hour sort of meditation.
Yeah.
So you can gain the same amount of recovery as it would be having a full sleep. Are you going to still be up with the up top, watching out, seeing what's going on?
Yeah, I'll say up top and keep looking out.
Okay.
If we're drifting though, can we put the sails back up?
Are you going to sail at night?
Are we going to sail at night?
I'm leaving that decision up to you, because you've been up to the crow's nest and seen what's around and things like that.
Has any of you got dark vision?
I think I have, actually. Hang on a second.
Yes, you do, because you used it.
Yeah, I have.
Down in the lower deck, yeah.
So for you, nighttime would be quite easy to see, just as it would be. You'd probably have to shout verbal commands down to one of the human crew.
Mm-hmm.
You could just steer the ship from the deck if you wanted to, but you wouldn't have as far. You couldn't perceive as far. So.
And our little friend, what's the guy that's doing the steering the ship at the moment?
Harsel.
Harsel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harsel's having a whale of a time, so I don't want to invade his space.
He will need to sleep though.
Oh, that's true.
as much of a good time as Harsel's having, like shooting along the sea, feeling free with the wind and salt in his hair. A bit like, her name is Rio, and she imagine that video, but like a gnarly, toothless, like farm dude on a boat. Reimagine that video. That's where we go.
What? So you telling me not? Is it Duran?
Yeah.
Duran?
No. It's a dragon, an elf, a pigeon, and this guy just with a wheel, like just
hillbilly.
yeah. That's it. Like it can very well be replaced with a tractor, and he'd be very happy if
Right,
tractors had been invented.
What I'm going to suggest is that I navigate the ship at night using my dark vision, but we have the crew take it in turns to steer the ship. So the crew that were part of the original crew before we took over the boat, like we're going to take it in, they're going to take it in turns so they can all sleep.
Yeah. Okay. So you're riding a night in the night, and you've had your 4-hour cat nap, or are you having that later?
I'll have the nap before we start moving again. But yeah, I'll have my nap and then we'll start moving.
Okay.
I'll have me nap.
So you eat, you nap, and then you set sail again at dusk.
Yeah.
And you start moving the boat again down the coastline towards the harbour where you wish to dock, to not be near the major port that fed the island of Heptar, but you would be at the sort of town of Mingrath. So
we're going to a smaller place, so we don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves.
Yeah. And from your reading of the desk note, you realise that as you're pondering up on the crow's nest in the silence of the evening, and on your own, with just one person below, just steering the ship to your gentle commands, in your elven way, which is your elven way. Harsel's gone to sleep, and it's now one of the other 6 that's steering it. One of the 4 that turned with you guys.
Yeah.
Steering the boat, and you start pondering that letter that the journal that you read, and you realise that the Red Scoundrel and the captain were becoming of some renown. So the boat itself could be recognised if you went to a major port where he had been trading, and with the name emblazoned down the side, etc., could be put on logs and things like that when docking in any port or something like that. And there would be a record of where that ship had docked. But that's why
Sorry, I didn't interrupt. Can we use stealth to make the boat a little bit less obvious when coming into the port?
Stealth is a personal trait, not something that you can cast on. It's not something that your stealth can have on an object. You could make the boat less obvious in a way, maybe by there's things you can do to make it less obvious. There's ways to approach a harbour that aren't with the boat. There's other things you can do.
I had a great idea when you said there's a way to make it less obvious. Dangle the 2 over the side on ropes that went against us with some blades, and they can scratch at the name that's on the side of the boat. Just tie them round their ankles with rope and dangle them over upside down.
That's it. You're asleep right now, but that's an idea for morning.
I didn't realise I was asleep. Sorry.
Yeah, you're asleep. So you might
You
need.
said that, and I was just like, I know what we can do. Let's torture them.
You were really mean on those two. You've really been going at them.
I don't know why.
Um,
It's just like-
as you sit looking out to the horizon, you notice a splashing ahead of you in the sea, almost like running alongside the boat, like in the front of you. Can you make a perception check for me, Lou?
Yep.
Sariel.
Perception. No. 8.
You think there could be a swarm of dolphins ahead of you, possibly something large fish in the sea in front of you? Do you carry on the same course?
I'm just looking at what something can do. I'm just having a look at whether we could actually use animal handling in some way.
They're a way off at the moment.
And they are directly in front of us.
They're kind of like in the darkness, because you see in shades of grey when you use dark vision. So you can just see bodies kind of leaping over waves about sort of maybe 30 to 40 feet in front of the boat, but you are gradually gaining on them. On this, what you presume to be about the size of a dolphin.
Is there any way of doing another check, like an intelligence check or something?
Maybe when you're closer, you could do a nature check, but from this distance, you couldn't really see.
Okay, so we'll carry on the course at the moment, and I'll do a nature check when we get closer.
Okay, so you're gaining on these creatures, and you see them better now, and you realise that they are not dolphins as you had expected, as there are strappings and belts of made from seaweed and kelp and leather accoutrements around them, and
Please tell me we're not dealing with mer people.
you can do a nature check and see if you recognise what they are, being a
15.
15. Yeah, you recognise these with your elven background, despite being you're high elf, aren't you? Not a wood elf.
Yeah, high up, yeah.
So with your education of nature, you realise that these are merfolk, and you see like a school of 3 merfolk swimming close to the boat. They know the boat's there.
Why does Bean look like she's about to cry? That are merfolk generally bad or good in this instance?
You know them. Could you make an insight check, maybe?
Okay.
We're currently asleep, so I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you can't do now.
Yeah.
13.
13. Yeah, you know them to be pretty neutral, and like they're not outwardly violent, as far as you know from your learning. They behave much as humans would behave. So when threatened, they may attack.
Would they be threatened by a big boat coming towards them?
They don't seem to be bothered by the boat. They're aware that boats exist. I mean, boats have sailed these waters for many years, as many years as they've existed.
Mhm.
They've existed longer, obviously, being of the sea, as they were around before the creatures grew legs and came on the land.
Can we manoeuvre the boat to the side of them rather than straight at them? And then can I have a conversation with them, please?
So you want to try and pull up alongside them and say, wind your window down.
I want you to boat down.
Oi!
Hello?
Oi! Put your window down.
So, okay.
She's like one of the little, is it a porthole?
Yeah.
You're at one of the little portholes in the side of the boat going,
Wind you.
I can just see it
Okay,
now.
so you're going to
to
shout down to the guy below you, are you, and say,
Yeah.
okay, what are you going to say to him?
Whoever's on deck, I don't know what his name is, but
Yeah.
whoever's on deck, I'm going to ask him to look down towards there's merfolk out to the, whatever the front of a boat is. What's the front of a boat?
Prow.
Prow. So there's merfolk to the prow of the boat.
Or the bow.
Would like bow. So I need to go to. I want to pull up the boat to the west of the mer people and like go along
to the west or the left,
left.
because you're heading south. Remember.
Oh yeah, to the left of the mer people.
To the left of the mer people.
Do you want to be like one of your French girls?
So you the boat pulls alongside and they swim and they're leaping out of the waves. They're looking curiously at the boat.
Mm-hmm.
You're still up on the crow's nest, so you wouldn't be able to speak to them from there.
I'm going to come down from the crow's nest briefly.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to lean over the side of the boat and go, ahoy there!
Ahoy there!
I just love that image. An elf. An elf. Saying, ahoy there.
In that voice, ahoy there!
That's how she'd say it, because she's a high elf.
Ahoy!
It's just, sorry, Lou, that just got me.
The ship's day.
There are apparently the group is made up. Now you're a bit closer. You can see that there are two female merfolk and one male merfolk. They leap alongside and they acknowledge you. They kind of bow their heads in between their leaping of the waves. And they shout back in. They speak common, so they sort of shout back. What are you doing in these waters on a slaver ship? How many souls do you have aboard?
How many souls do we have? 14?
But they said how many souls?
I think that mean people.
Yeah, that just got me then. I was like, they said how many souls?
You can't talk.
I know, sorry.
You're asleep.
Sorry.
You can talk. You can talk. You meta, but
Carry on.
Okay, so
I'm going for another wee, sorry.
it's a good
You've had
thing.
too
You've
much-
got
you've had too
damaged
many of them.
bladder.
Coke thingies, yeah. So I tell them how many beings there are on the boat, and say we are heading towards whatever that place is called,
Mingras.
Mengrass. And so we're heading towards Mengrass,
Mm-hmm.
and say that we need to arrive sort of secretly, and ask them if they know a way of helping us sneak into the harbour without being seen.
Okay. They say, "Are you the captain? You wear captain's clothes."
I'll say that we were slaves. We were stolen and to be sold as slaves, but we've taken control of the boat, and now we're on our own mission. And I don't tell them any details of our mission, but I just say we're on our own mission, and the captain's no longer with us.
They consider your position. You can see them thinking, and as they dive beneath the waves, you see them swimming with just their tails, quite close knit, the three of them, and they communicating underwater in their own language. So you do not hear, or what you do hear, you don't understand this aquatic language as they converse. They rise out of the water again and they say, "You wish to be free, people?"
Yes.
"We believe in freedom. Our seas are often tried to be kept controlled, to be held down. The sea is not to be held. Water slips through the fingers, and the tempest forges on forever and ever to the end of days. Your freedom of land dwellers is different to ours, but we respect it nonetheless. But do you respect our freedom?"
Yes, we do.
"How?"
Do I need to perform a persuasion?
Yeah, you could try and persuade them. Yeah, or you could do a performance. You could try and tell them of your history as an elf or something, maybe. And
right. I don't want to do that. I am going to roll a performance.
performance.
Oh no, performance. No, I'm going to do persuasion because that's a better.
Okay, yeah, you're going to try and persuade them that your intent is true.
Oh, I've got history. I could use history.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them of my position in society as a high elf, and my people, the legends of my people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to roll a history.
Okay.
8.
They're not convinced by this tale. They look to be not convinced at all, especially the male one who's been eyeing up the boat, and also notices the fish that you have hanging from the rigging.
Oh, bugger, yeah. We've got fish on board hanging up. Oh dear.
You have creatures of the sea hung, dried. This is not respectful of our creatures to leave them in the sun.
Nature. What does nature do again?
Nature would be to know something of a creature.
So I'm going to roll a nature just to find out if there's a way of of appeasing them. 23.
You imagine that some small sacrifice or an offering might appease them.
Mm-hmm. What have we got that they want? What have we got that they want?
Well, I know what I'd say, but I'm asleep.
I'm going to go and poke Charles and wake him up. Poke.
So I rouse. Yes, what is it?
Charles, do you know anything about merfolk? Do you know what would persuade them to be on our side to help us get into the harbour without being seen?
Merfolk, by Jove! How fascinating! Charles runs to the edge of the boat and looks over. Hello there, chaps. How are we doing? Oh, splendid. You really are magnificent creatures. The guy doesn't look too happy about being referred to as a creature. I mean people, of course, sorry. What seems to be the problem? You have people of the sea, creatures of the sea aboard, hanging in the sun. What offerings did you make to take them from their domain? Well, we are hungry. You see, we have to eat. You eat the fish too. We eat the fish, but we offer back. Ah, yeah, much like we do. The tempest gives and the tempest takes away. A shipwreck. One shipwreck is another man's bounty, as they say. So if we were to give you a token, an item or something, an offering to the sea, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
or an offering to you precisely, like would that maybe make peace with you that way?
I'm happy to give them a token to appease them. What about can we give them a gold coin?
Yeah, they trade in money. Yeah, they use money.
They use money. So can we give them a coin in as a trade for the fish we've taken from the sea?
And you can give it a go.
I don't know what else we've got. Bean, what else? Oh no, you're asleep.
Sorry.
Charles, what else have we got that we could trade with them?
Bean. Are you woken? You hear the commotion going on, raised voices, and you wake up.
Okay, so
You've got to ascertain the situation.
what are we doing?
Well, these chaps here are a little bit upset about our sort of
About
our garlands of dead fish aboard. They're not too pleased, and they're wondering what we gave to the sea, to the tempest, and we gave nothing.
Oh, Toby, you idiot!
Get out.
He thinks we've got food. We're sat at the
Toby,
table,
get
so we
out.
think. Sorry, 1 second though.
Toby, get out. Go away.
Toby, go away. Get on your bed. He thinks we've got food because we're sat at the table, so he's like trying to get as close to us as possible.
Mm-hmm. What have we got we can give to mer people? I've only got gold, but I'm not convinced that gold's going to work. Is there anything that'd be a bit more?
I've got a pocket watch.
What Charles got?
He's got a broken sword and a portrait of a goblin.
Mm.
He's got can't remember how much gold he's got. Not a lot.
Hmm.
I want to hold on to the telescope because I think it'd be useful later on.
He's got gold.
I've got gold. I could give him some gold.
Yeah.
I've got a pocket watch and a dice set I could give them.
I'm not convinced
Think about the practicalities of giving dice to
I know, that's what I'm
underwater
saying.
folk.
for that matter. I don't think time makes much difference to them, especially a broken pocket watch.
Yeah, exactly.
A
Let's just,
monster.
I'll just give him some. I'll just give him some gold.
Okay.
A moth, just what?
So what are you going to do? You're going to...
I'm going to give the mer people. What have I got? 5 coins. I'll give them 2 coins of gold.
You flick the gold coins over the deck to them. And they don't actually go to catch them. They let them drop and sink into the sea.
Right.
And they look to you and they say, your offering is acceptable for the amount of fish you have here.
Brilliant.
Just remember that when you take, you must always give. Melora watches us all. And without balance, this world will fall apart. And they dive and swim away from the boat, and you see them sink underneath the waves. It's the middle of the night. You've been woken up to speak to fish people.
Thanks.
Charles Charles says, well, fascinating, and promptly tries to go back to sleep to catch up on his snooze time. What about you, Killian? You gonna have a full sleep?
Go back to bed.
You're fully healed anyway, so you could stay up if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm awake now, so what else is there to do?
Steering and get Sariel back up the thing.
I'm going to go back up at the bird's nest. Yeah, bird's nest.
Crow's nest, yeah.
Up the rigging. I'm going to go back up to the bird's nest and start looking out again and shout down to, if Sarah was staying up, if Gillian's staying up, then I'll ask Gillian to hoist the sails and let's get going again.
You were still travelling. The sails were up still, so you were still moving at this point, and the other guy was still steering the boat for you. So
I'll take over steering and let the other guy get some rest.
okay, so
I'm awake now, so I may as well.
You're sailing through the night, and dawn gradually comes. You're all very, very well rested and feeling pretty splendid at this point. And you can see as the coast kind of is moving away from you now, and you can see on the distant horizon, in front of the boat as you're going down, you can see the coast of Gregdon, and you can see far in the distance what looks to be a mountain and a large castle or fort to the left of the boat, to the port of the boat, which would be Heptar Island. But it's a long way, miles off. Like, it's literally a blip on the horizon. But with the telescope, you can make that out away from you. As it stands bold, you can't see any of the boats that would be on that trade route along there, because you're still too far away. But that island, that castle and fortress is that church, that holy place is so impressively large that you can make it out all the way from here. You see the coastline start curving away from you on your right as you're traveling down, and you know that it is gradually dipping in to become the small port of Mindgrass.
Okay, so how long have we been travelling for now?
That was 1 day, and so you reckoned it was about 2 days. You're about, maybe 12 hours, 14 hours out from where you think it would be.
We need to think of a plan of making our boat, of sneaking into the harbour, basically, so we're not identified when we get into the harbour.
Yeah. So does the smaller rowboat have any distinctive things on it?
There's no insignia on the smaller boat.
Okay.
It's just a little standard row to shore, row out, little island visiting
Seriously?
type boat. With no significant markings, but there is there's the red flag that you can see on the very top of the boat for a start on this boat. That marks it out quite clearly as the Red Scoundrel. There's the lettering.
No, this isn't the Red Scoundrel. The other one's the Red Scoundrel.
No, the other one is the Wild Horse.
Ah, I've got those two next up.
So what we can do is, for starters, if we could take that red flag down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to send somebody up there to take. Where is that up where I am?
It's above you on a very fine piece of rigging.
Can I do an acrobatic thing, please, and take the red flag down?
Yeah, go and make an acrobatics check.
$18.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant.
You like you were climbing a vine back in the forest, like climbing up a net of ivy wrapping an oak tree. You climb the top of the vine and untie the flag that has the Red Scoundrel's insignia upon it, and you take that flag down. And what do you do with the flag? You can hold on to it, or
I'll hide it on my person for now.
I was going to say, it might be worth holding on to it, just in case.
In case we need to identify ourselves later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got the only other things that we've got. What else we got that's identifying? The name on the side of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else? Do we need to
I was going to say, do we need to check the boat over to see if there's anything else?
You can make the assessment. Yeah. So you're going to make investigation checks then, guys.
Yeah. Investigation check.
I've got too many dice now. I keep having to check what one I've got to use. That one.
I only got 9.
Oh!
Natural 20.
Yeah. So I've got 21.
So yeah, and that 20. So yeah, you find that there is on the back of the boat there is an insignia. Also, the rear of the captain's cabin is stained glass, and it's quite a memorable picture of a red fox leaping through over hills, but the hills are shaped to look like waves. So it's like, it's like the scoundrel of the waves kind of thing. Like a fox is the scoundrel of the farmyard or something like that, escaping the hounds of the sea, basically. You also, so there's either side of the boat, it's got insignia, the back window, and with your 20, you also realise that all three of you are wearing captain's outfits.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
Right, so we need to get rid of the names on the side of the boat and the window and our outfits. At
We
least,
can.
at least
we can-
two of us need to get rid of the outfits. But you were saying the captain's quite well known.
The captain has got renown. He was gaining renown, yeah.
So they're going to recognise his clothes.
The clothes look pretty standard for that kind of type of person, apart from the 4 buttons. But that's only because you were closely inspecting those 4 buttons for relevance in terms of the
So
chest.
we can get away with just being boat people by wearing these outfits, yeah?
You'd all look like captains.
All look like captains of boats, but not necessarily the captain.
Yeah, it would be very rare, because you rolled a 20, it would be very rare to have 3 captains on one boat.
So 2 of us need to ditch the coats or hang them back up, is what he's saying. So we need to get rid of the window, hang 2 of the coats up.
Is Chest Monster still downstairs?
Chest Monster is in the captain's quarters, which is under the raised deck part where the here, so it's inside the door here. So when you go in here, you're presented with this.
So he's quite happily sitting down there. He's not going to like just wander up onto deck and cause problems.
You know that he was he didn't react when you were within only when you went within about 2 feet of him anyway.
Right. Okay. So he's quite happy sitting down there. So as long as we don't go back in there without the coats on, we're all right, basically.
Yeah, we're fine. So
who wants? Do you want to keep your coat on, and we and the rest of us take the coats off, or because I'm the most regal looking, I keep the coat on, and the rest of you take the coats off?
It didn't fit you well.
Oh yeah, it doesn't fit me well, does it? But it fits. Yeah, that was it. I was like this, wasn't I?
yeah, yeah. You just made me laugh when you did that. Yeah.
It's probably a good idea for me to not arrive in port looking like this.
Yeah. But then many people have issues with the Dragonborns, don't they?
But if you look like a captain, at least it gives you some sort of standing.
Authority, yeah.
Yeah. So I vote you keep the captain's outfit on because it fits you well.
I was gonna say, well, it's out of me and you because no one would believe that Charles is a captain when he can't.
Charles is not Charles.
Yeah.
If he could wear shoes, he couldn't even tie his shoelaces.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to say it politely, but yeah.
So you keep the captain's outfit on. We take the captain's outfits off, but we are going to fold them up and keep them on our persons.
I was going to say, do you want to, because I've still got the coat on, do you want to give them to me and I go and hang them up? Because I've still got mine on, so the chests won't attack me.
But if we're going back and get them for whatever reason, the chests might wake up.
Yeah, I have to be the one to go back and get them. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, fold them and try and hide them on your person or in your equipment bag or something.
Yeah,
that might be worth doing. Yeah. So we still need to deal with the window and the names on the sides of the boat. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, it's going to look really suspicious if we smash the window that's in the captain's quarters, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's going to look really dodgy. Have we got anything we could cover the window with?
Well, I was just looking at the deception skill, but mine's -1, so I'm not exactly good at it. That would
be in a conversation with someone if you were trying to deceive someone, if you were trying to lie to someone, trying to fib them, tell them you're something else. So while pretending to be a captain, you might need to use that.
That only lasts a short amount of time.
What's that?
I've got minor illusion.
Mm-hmm.
It only lasts a minute though, which would only give us a minute of time to do what we need to do. But I could use minor illusion. I'm thinking when we get to shore, I could use it to kind of disguise the boat, but that only gives us a minute. And
all 14 or whatever it is of us able to get off the boat in a minute.
no, and it only lasts 30 feet or 5 cubic feet.
So
That would cover the window.
Yeah, that would cover the window, but only for a minute.
but not the sides of the boat.
No. So we'd need to somehow get rid of the writing on the sides of the boat.
Can I use an intelligence check to come up with an idea for getting rid of the writing on the side of the boat, please?
I'm liking your thinking. Both of us just stumped like how we're going to do that.
20. 18 plus 2.
Yeah, so you see that the way that the writing has been done on the side of the boat is it's chiseled in, and then the inside of the lettering has been charred, possibly by placing gunpowder in it and then lighting it, so it's burnt that mark on.
Right. Bonfire.
I can use... Wait, can I?
I can create a bonfire at up to 60 foot.
Yeah.
And char the rest of the writing, so it just looks like a blur.
I can use firebolt for 120 foot. Both of us thinking along the same lines there, though.
But is that? Are we going to set fire to the whole boat by doing that?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Can we?
There's something less destructive you can do.
Ah! There's loads of torches below deck.
That's still setting fire to it.
Yeah, but they're less destructive. They've got torches burning with inside the boat, so they're not.
And we've got torches in our equipment packs.
You do indeed.
So we could send, 2 people down either side?
And with
on
torches
boats and stuff with torches, and they can kind of, I don't know, what does it say again? Sorry, what's the boat called?
The Red Scoundrel.
We don't want to mark ourselves as another of the other boat.
But it might look really suspicious if we burnt the name off completely and made it look all blurry. Do you know what I mean? It might look really dodgy. Or am I thinking far too into this?
No, it's ideal. It's exactly it's exactly the kind of thing that, if you think of a dock master, he's going to be looking for things.
I'm just gonna try and think of some other words that would work with red and scoundrel. Well, it's Creed, but it's only one E. CRED. I'm not good at what's it called? Anagrams. Any joy?
Beanie's quite good at them. So she's working away now. So you're thinking of renaming the boat using the existing plaque and rearranging it. Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
So what are you thinking? Second.
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 Yeah.
Second.
I don't know. I was trying to see what I could make with the letters that are already
The
there.
red second rat.
The fed second rat is what I've come up with. Because I'm trying to like rework letters that we've got there. So the R we could easily turn into an F. So it's the fed. Rull at the end we can turn into rat.
I've got deer and cow. And then I've got DRL left.
Right, have I spelled scoundrel wrong?
SCOUND
Yeah, scound.
REL.
Oh, EL.
I think scoundrel. Yeah.
Let me
Scoundrel.
just. Google's having to come out now, guys. This. You know when you write something and then you're like, wait, have I written it wrong?
Scoundrel. Scoundrel.
Yeah. EL. Yeah, so, right. If that's an E. Right, so second.
While you're pondering this, and
In other words, we're taking too long.
can Sariel make a perception check quickly?
11.
Okay.
I'm not perceiving anything then, mate. Okay.
You don't. Well, we'll see. Or rather, you won't see. Dreaded scoundrel.
Yeah, what about that? Lou?
What?
What about the dreaded scoundrel instead of the red scoundrel?
Does that work?
You've got to add more letters on the beginning.
Yeah, that's all. It just depends how much space we've got.
Do you want to do a perception test? Because I'm intrigued what the perception test is for. Do you want to do one of those before we agree?
Yeah, can I see how
you
much
can make a
space we've got?
No, this is perception because they just had to make perception. Perception roll, please.
For what?
Just perception.
11.
Same. Okay.
We got nothing. We received nothing.
Okay. So you'd have to make a. So what tools do you have with you?
So we've got torches.
Yeah.
Torches, bonfire, water. What other equipment have I got?
Tinderbox.
Yeah. That's
Druid force.
Sorry.
Druid force.
No, it's not gonna. I'm just thinking what you could.
What else have I got?
I've got a
I've got
hammer.
You've got a hammer.
I've got a hammer.
Do you
I've
remember?
got a star, a shield, a rope, rations.
Do you want to make a wisdom check?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
You pick up the hammer and you're staring at it.
4.
You have no idea what to do with a hammer.
Can I do a wisdom check?
Yeah. You look at him holding the hammer.
12.
You realise that with the combination of a hammer and one of the daggers that Gegni had, You could
Uh-huh.
make a carving. You could carve something easily in the side of the deck.
So we could carve extra letters and then burn them like with the torches.
Yeah. You think that would be a feasible plan if you can get someone over the edge?
Mhm. So
Safely.
do you want to Mr. Dragon Man?
Yes. I love that. You can tell
Mr.
you can
Dragon.
tell we're getting tired. Mr. Dragon Man.
Dragon Man, his name I can't remember. Do you want to?
Killian.
What was it?
Killian.
Killian. Killian?
Yes.
Quite awfully telling us what you were going to write, what the letters were going to be.
So the dreaded scoundrel.
The
But-
dreaded. Right.
Yeah, because it's the red scoundrel, but we can misspell it. So there's no A in it. It's DREDED. Because I'm assuming that I'm just assuming that that the people before us were not the highest of intelligence and were quite illiterate.
Dialect varies, yes, certainly.
Yeah. So dreaded,
Dialect and spelling.
DREDED.
There's many languages throughout
Yeah,
throughout Earl that are spoken, so spelling can be sometimes different.
Yeah, so it's just a D at the front and then ED at the end. So it's DREDED.
Okay.
And we put a "the" in. Yes, the dreaded scoundrel.
Because it was the red scoundrel.
Yeah,
So it's the dreaded scoundrel.
dreaded. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just dreaded that we're added on. We're just adding on
Sounds good. How are you
4
gonna
letters.
How are you gonna get down there?
Are we going to hang somebody over with? I've got some rope, so we can hang somebody overboard with it.
I was going to say
Okay.
there's rope on the boat anyway.
Oh, okay.
And we've all got rope, haven't we?
You've all got rope on you, yeah. So you can try and jerry rig something. Make an intelligence check. One of you. Who's going
I'll
to try
do
and rig it? Let's
I've
see
got
what
a
what's
high
Charlie Boy got. He's got a +2 intelligence.
Mine only came up 6, so I've not got an idea of that.
Come on, Charlie. He got a 10. She's got a natural 20 again.
And then it was me going, oh no.
So
I'm not even going to try.
what's your plus?
+1. So I've
yeah,
got 21.
21. Okay, so between the three of you, and with excellent guidance from Killian, who clearly has, probably from being among the mountains and climbing, and using ropes
And being a
stuff,
soldier.
and being up and down mountains where his the dragon born reside, is able to fashion jerry rig some sort of thing that resembles one of those window cleaner platforms that you can lower down over the side of the boat. Who's going on it?
Shall I try and persuade one of the other guys, a few of the other guys to go on it?
Yeah, I think we're too precious to go over the side of the boat, to be honest. Especially while it's moving.
Yeah, because we're the ones that have been doing all of the searching and getting the food, and I think, no offence, but if one of them falls off, we can spare one of the others.
Okay. So
that's my thinking.
Which of these people we've got are going to be good at rope climbing? Haven't we got somebody who does caves? Gnome?
no, she was an above ground gnome. She wasn't a deep gnome.
What about is there an orc?
No, there's a dwarf. There's
Dwarf.
the Luxodon.
Dwarf will be a underground.
I was thinking that all humans, because they're going to be quite light compared to.
Yeah. And a bit more dexterous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, send one of the humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how many humans have we got?
You have 4 that are your willing rebellion folk,
Yeah.
and you have 2 that were the unwilling that you, after killing Gegni, submitted to your wrath and rage.
Let's
Okay.
send 2 of the willing ones overboard on the platform. You don't want to send like just one in case it takes too long to do both sides of the boat.
Yeah, I was thinking actually send down 4. So we've got.
Too heavy. That might be too heavy on the
Yeah,
platform.
that's what I was thinking.
So
So
you
yeah,
send
let's send down one of each, like 1 down 1, 2 down one side. Then when they've done that side, send another 2 down the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, so can you both make strength checks, please? And Charlie. 15.
8.
Mm-hmm.
18. I was
Yeah,
trying to think
so
then. I was like,
you
will it
managed
work?
to, Sariel, you start lowering them down, and you are on the back bit of rope, and you actually slip and let go, and the rope spins for a minute through your hands, but Killian and Charles manage to grab it and secure it. The humans on the boat, one of them falls off completely into the water and is now bobbing around in the water. Didn't appear to take any damage, that one, and the other one has knocked its head but is conscious.
Great. So we've got 1 injured and 1 in the water.
Yeah, and these are both your mates.
Right. So we need to send a rope over to get the one out the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who are you gonna command to do that?
I'll do it.
You're holding the rope for the other one.
Oh.
Have we got any more? Can we get the dwarf to throw a rope over and pull, because he's going to be strong, and pull the human out of the water?
He throws the rope. The guy, he throws it too far, so the guy doesn't get it. Oh, the guy can swim straight to it. He swims right over to it and grabs it.
Mm-hmm.
And the dwarf, with a mighty tug, hoiks that guy straight out of the water, and he's back on deck, wet but unharmed.
Okay.
So because he's wet, his clothes are a little bit heavier.
Then you feel a bow wave hit the boat and rock the boat from the side.
Is the person that's on the other platform that was hurt still there?
He is still there.
Can we hoist him up a minute and bring him up onto the deck?
You do. And then another bow wave. The whole boat moves like this. And you see, cresting from the water,
Oh, for goodness
a
sake.
golden bronze-like scale.
Mm-hmm.
And then the boat shudders to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
And you see on the prow of the boat a huge claw, probably 5 foot in width or more, and then a second one. And up above the deck, the head of a dragon looks down at you. And that's where we're going to end our adventure today.
This sucks because if it's a water dragon. Oh.
Are you not friends with water dragons then?
You're going to have to do some Dragonborn research.
Yeah, I am. I hate you. Why do I have to do so much reading? I'm already
You can
halfway.
watch YouTube videos on it.
Oh, fair enough. I'll do that then. I'm already halfway through a book that I keep getting distracted on. So,
Right.
go.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for watching, everyone at home. We're going to do our little maintenance bit, which is kind of boring. Yeah, you don't need to know this bit. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.